Hi, today we're going to take a minute and discuss an often overlooked cause or reason that leads to turbocharger failure in relation to the thrust bearing. The symptom we're going to be discussing today is overspeeding by intake vacuum or restriction. And the area that you're going to want to concentrate is your quality of your air filter, the CFM flow of the air filter, and if there are any restrictions causing a negative vacuum between your air filter intake pipe and your compressor housing where your compressor wheel spins. If you have a restriction at your intake, this will cause your turbine to spin faster and faster. Now, the compressor side is supposed to pull forward, and your turbine side is supposed to pull backwards, and your thrust bearing sits in between them, sort of stabilizing them from going forward or back. If you have that restriction, the exhaust is going to catch the blades of your turbine shaft and pull it back and back and back, causing damage to the thrust bearing. As you can see in this example, this thrust bearing has excessive wear and scoring on it. These thrust bearings are essentially supposed to be encased in oil. They're not really supposed to be touching the thrust collar. Your oil pressure helps them remain sustained in that oil. With that negative vacuum and that force against the turbine, it will actually force it to make contact with the thrust collar, resulting in metal on metal wear, which can also lead to catastrophic failure with your turbine and compressor wheel. A very important thing to consider for your intake is a high flowing CFM air filter, especially for VGT turbo models. A lot of these air filters on the market are not adequate enough, especially for VGT systems. With that restriction, again, at the intake, you will have overspeeding of the turbine, which causes a lot of that pressure to pull the turbine toward the back. And another way to monitor this is with our velocity vacuum gauge that helps monitor your intake vacuum between the air filter and your compressor side of your turbocharger.